about a few couples from the season finale of Love After Lockup. First, starting off with Michael and Joey. So Michael tells Joey that he decided that he does not want to be with Joey and that he would rather use drugs and he doesn't want to drag him along with him. So he decided to end things with Joey, and Joey is just in disbelief. He can't decide if he's being punked. He was still trying to process everything that just happened because it was just so random and out of nowhere. I mean, we could see that it was slowly not working out, but come on, why would you meet the man's family if you had any doubts that you wanted to be with him? Here's the thing. Michael was trying to make it sound like, you know what, I thought I did want to be with Joey. I thought I did want this life. And then I got out and I realized, this isn't for me. But then he did eventually admit, you know what, people are probably going to think I used Joey and maybe it's true. And now after hearing those things, I do think that Michael used Joey because he didn't have any desire whatsoever to come out and try. He milked him dry while he was in prison, probably so he could get some money on his books to stay high in prison. And now that he's out, he don't need Joey no more, so he just throws him off to the side. And Joey decides to go see his family, I think his grandma. And his grandma's just worried sick that Joey's going to use this as an excuse to go run and relapse. She's like, you don't have to relapse over this. And Joey just can't stop crying. I feel so bad for Joey. In a lot of these instances, I roll my eyes a lot because it's like, okay, what did you expect? Sitting here finding someone in prison that's been in prison their whole adult life. But I think the problem with Joey is Joey saw a lot of Michael in himself, and he saw Michael a lot as how he used to be. So he thought, okay, if I can do it, all it took me was having a loving family in my life. If I can be that person Michael needs, and maybe Michael might have a chance of success. But you saw his mother. His mother was walking around in this scooter because one of her legs was messed up. She was having all these issues with her health. And if that's not enough for Michael to want to get his crap together, then he's never going to get it together. The man's in his 40s and he's comfortable in prison. Then Michael went out to eat with his friend Spencer. They're sitting there and they start having a few drinks. And then they interviewed Joey later on. And Joey admitted that he knows for a fact that Michael has relapsed. And he relapsed the night that he left Joey. And Michael, next thing you know, he's back in prison doing an interview from prison, which, we already knew that from the beginning of the season. I believe it was Starcasm that broke the news. Michael's just so damn predictable. Everything we expected would happen with Michael after he left Joey happened. And it happened with the quickness. This man literally left Joey. And I feel like that's another reason why he couldn't handle being around Joey. Because he didn't want to accept responsibility and try being a hardworking, contributing adult to society. He would rather just take the easy way and be a total F-boy. And he's not ready to grow up. So he sat there and he was driving around his friend's car. I guess he ran through a stop sign and got pulled over. And he got arrested because he had a warrant out for his arrest. So now the man is locked up until 2029. So now he's locked up for another 4 years over this stupid crap. But as soon as they showed him on a clip where he was in prison, talking about how he's in prison, locked up till 2029, the man looked way too excited to be there. I'm like, okay, this man I think is a lost cause at this point. I don't like saying that about anybody, but the fact that you're sitting there treating this like it's a party, he's probably excited he's reunited with all his buddies now, and now he can go find him some more sugar daddies so he can just get high and not have to have any responsibilities. But honestly, I do respect Michael for being honest with Joey at least. But the crazy part was, to me, is Michael was like, yeah, so I was out using the whole time. And yeah, I was hooking up with people. I probably hooked up with about 14 people in 3 weeks. I'm like, dude, why are you sitting here bragging about that like that's some kind of flex? That's something like a teenager would do, talking about how many bodies they have. But to act like you have 14 bodies in 2 weeks as a 40-year-old, that's just nasty to me. I think it was a blessing in disguise that Joey didn't hook up with Michael, because he probably would have caught something with him hooking up with 14 people in 2 weeks. That's insane. At this point, I think Courtney's just hangry. She's sitting here marching around Portland, Oregon, talking about how she's going to get on the bus because Will told her he was going to put her on a shelf. So finally, he walks up to her right before she's about to get on the bus, and he's like, girl, what are you doing? Get in my car and let's go get our food. So Courtney goes back and she starts breaking down in the car, saying she doesn't understand why they're not getting along and why Will's pretty much being such an asshole. And she revealed, like, look, yeah, if the guy wanted to send me money in prison and take care of me, I was all for it. And I guess within 15 months, she was able to rack up $25,000. That is insane. I remember her making a comment about how Will actually has his teeth. And that's probably because he's probably one of the few guys sending her money that had teeth. I'm sure like the big spenders were the one that probably had just a few teeth in their mouth, because they know they normally wouldn't be able to pull a girl like Courtney. So Courtney took full advantage of that, and she's trying to say she only has like a little over $1,000 left. Even with her math, spending $1,500 a month, you would still have at least half that money left. I think she's sitting here and downplaying how much she really has in her pocket, because she doesn't want to have to spend her own money. She would rather spend Will's money so she can sit here and keep stacking her money. And so Will was able to talk her into going back to his hotel and enjoying their last day they have together. He's like, I want to give you a bubble bath. She's like, dude, you're still in the doghouse. You need to slow your roll. But eventually he was like, dude, come on. You can sit here and be mad all day, and then we aren't going to be able to see each other for possibly months. Or you can just make the best of it. So Courtney made the best of it. They had a good rest of their time. They said they finally got to make use of those freaky little ropes that Will brought. Then it was time for Will to go back home, and he was just feeling really uneasy because he does not trust Courtney as far as he can throw her. He's sitting here suspecting that she might be using, and she's doing God knows what else. And so he's sitting here talking about, like, you know, we haven't had a good few days. I don't really trust my wife. Then next thing you know, boom, 6 weeks later, Courtney was arrested, and they didn't give us any details on why she was arrested, which I just thought that was super annoying, because there are certain inmates, I've seen them describe like what charges they were arrested for in the past, like at the end of the season updates, but then there's certain inmates I've seen them not list the charges, like Arthur when he was arrested and when Courtney was arrested. But don't worry guys, my nosy-tailed self did some digging, and I found out that Courtney was arrested on January 30th for a parole violation. It does not detail what exactly that parole violation was for. Unfortunately, probation and parole violations are pretty much next to impossible to get like detailed reports of to figure out what exactly happened. I guess we're just gonna have to wait until next season in August for her to open up about those things. But I'm gonna assume maybe she traveled out of state. Maybe she didn't report to her parole officer. Maybe she dropped dirty for alcohol or for drugs. Or it could have been she didn't go back to her halfway house in time or wasn't following the rules of her halfway house. It could have been many things. I don't know. I'm going to guess maybe she got caught drinking or something. That's just my guess. You guys let me know what you guys think her parole violation was for. I definitely expect an explanation as soon as the new season starts in August. But that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.